The text came through at 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. Unknown number, no context, just 8 words. Your wife is at the Hilton, room 1847. I was sitting in a client meeting. The conference room was cold. I could hear the hum of the projector above us. I stared at my phone. The Hilton downtown was 20 minutes from my office, 30 minutes from our house in Clintonville, where my wife said she'd be working from home today. My hands were shaking. I typed back, "Who is this?" 3 dots appeared. Then, "Someone who thought you should know." I could have driven there. I could have gone straight to room 1847 and knocked on the door, but that's not what I did. Instead, I called the best florist in Columbus and ordered a dozen red roses. "What would you like the card to say?" the woman asked. I smiled, but there was nothing warm about it. "To my darling wife," I said slowly. "Congratulations on your promotion. I'm so proud of you. Love, Marcus." There was a pause. "Sir, you said this is for your wife?" "That's right. Room 1847 at the downtown Hilton. Deliver it in exactly 1 hour. And the name is Marcus?" "Yes, Marcus Chen, her boss." Another pause. "Okay, sir, we'll have it delivered." I hung up and checked my watch. 1 hour until those flowers arrived. 1 hour until my wife opened a card with her lover's name on it. 1 hour until Marcus Chen, her married boss, who had no idea I knew, got a phone call that would destroy his career. "My name is Derek. I'm 39. I'm a data analyst for a healthcare company here in Columbus." I know. Not the most exciting job. I spend my days building spreadsheets, running queries, finding patterns in numbers that most people would find boring. But here's the thing about being a data analyst. You learn to see patterns everywhere, in numbers, in behavior, in lies. And for the past 3 months, I'd been seeing patterns in my wife's behavior that didn't add up. Her name is Vanessa. We've been married for 8 years. She's a marketing director at a mid-sized pharmaceutical company, smart, ambitious. When we met, I was a junior analyst making $45,000 a year. She was a marketing coordinator making about the same. We built our life together slowly, paid off student loans, saved for a down payment, bought a modest house in Clintonville. We weren't rich, but we were solid. Then 2 years ago, she got promoted. Marketing director, $120,000 salary, company car, expense account. Suddenly she was traveling more, working late, attending conferences and client dinners. I was proud of her, I really was. I picked up more of the housework. I didn't complain when she missed dinners or came home at midnight. I supported her career, because that's what you do when you love someone. But 3 months ago, the pattern started changing. It began with small things, new perfume, expensive stuff I'd never seen before. She started going to the gym at odd hours, 6 in the morning before work, 9 at night after dinner. Her phone, which used to sit on the kitchen counter while she cooked, was now always in her pocket, always face down. She bought new lingerie. I found the receipt in her purse when I was looking for her insurance card. Victoria's Secret, $340. I'd never seen her wear any of it. Then there were the work trips, Chicago for a conference, 2 nights, Atlanta for a client meeting, 3 nights, Indianapolis for a strategy session, 1 night. I'm a data analyst. I analyze data. So I started tracking. I pulled up her credit card statements. We had a joint account for household expenses, but she'd opened a separate card for work expenses. Hotel charges that didn't match her travel calendar. Restaurant bills for 2 at places she'd told me she'd eaten alone. Uber rides that dropped her at addresses I didn't recognize. I built a spreadsheet. Dates, locations, expenses, her explanations. The patterns were undeniable. My wife was having an affair. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Because here's what I learned in 8 years of marriage. People lie when they're cornered. They deny. They deflect. They make you feel crazy for even asking. I needed proof. Real, undeniable proof. So I did what any data analyst would do. I gathered more data. I installed a GPS tracker on her car, one of those small magnetic ones you can buy on Amazon for $40. I didn't feel good about it, but I needed to know. The tracker showed me everything. The Hilton downtown, multiple visits, always on weekday afternoons, a condo in the short north, 3 visits in 2 weeks, a restaurant in Grandview, The same one where she'd told me she had a solo working lunch. The GPS put her there for 2 hours with the car parked in the back lot. I cross-referenced the condo address with public records. It belonged to Marcus Chen, her boss. Marcus Chen was 44, married, 2 kids. He'd been with the company for 15 years. VP of marketing. Vanessa's direct supervisor. He drove a Tesla, lived in a $500,000 condo, posted pictures on LinkedIn of his perfect family, and he was sleeping with my wife. I could have confronted them, could have called his wife, could have gone to HR. But I'm a data analyst. I think in systems, and I realized if I moved too fast, they'd close ranks. They'd deny everything. It would become a he said, she said situation. I needed leverage, so I waited. I documented. I tracked. I built my case like I was preparing a presentation for the board. And then, that Tuesday afternoon, I got the text. Your wife is at the Hilton, room 1847. I stared at the message. My heart was pounding. Someone else knew. I typed back, "Who is this?" The response came quickly. "Someone who thought you should know." I tried calling the number. It went straight to voicemail. No greeting. I sat there in my office, my mind racing. Who sent this? Another employee? A friend? Marcus's wife? It didn't matter. What mattered was that I now had real-time intelligence. Room 1847. Right now. I could drive there. I could catch them in the act. But that's not what I did. Because I'm not a man who acts on emotion. I'm a man who executes a plan. I opened my laptop and pulled up the Hilton's website. Room 1847 was a junior suite, king bed, city view, $280 a night. I checked Vanessa's credit card statement. Sure enough, there it was. Hilton, downtown Columbus, $280, charged 3 hours ago. She told me she was working from home today. I looked at the clock. 2:52 p.m. Then I picked up my phone and called the best florist in Columbus. Petal and stem florist, this is Rachel. How can I help you? Hi, Rachel. I need a dozen red roses delivered today. Absolutely. What's the occasion? It's a surprise for my wife. She just got a promotion. Oh, how wonderful. Where would you like them delivered? The Hilton downtown, room 1847. There was a pause. A hotel room? Yes. She's celebrating there with colleagues. I want to surprise her. That's so sweet, and what would you like the card to say? I took a breath. To my darling wife, congratulations on your promotion. I'm so proud of you. Love, Marcus. Silence on the other end. I'm sorry. Did you say Marcus? Yes. Marcus Chen. That's her boss. He's the one who promoted her. I want him to get credit. Another pause. Longer this time. Sir, you said this is for your wife? That's correct. But you want the card to say it's from her boss? Yes. Is that a problem? No, I just want to make sure I have it right. You do. To my darling wife, congratulations on your promotion. I'm so proud of you. Love, Marcus. Can you deliver it in exactly 1 hour? Yes, sir. We can do that. Perfect. Here's my credit card. I gave her the information and hung up. Then I sat back in my chair and smiled, because in exactly 1 hour, my wife was going to open a card with her lover's name on it, and she was going to panic. I didn't leave my office. I didn't drive to the hotel. I just waited. At 3:47 p.m., I got a text from Vanessa. Hey, babe. How's your day going? I stared at it. The casual tone. The lie embedded in every letter. I typed back, good, busy. How's working from home? Productive, just finished a big presentation, might take a break and go for a walk. A walk, right. I didn't respond. At 4:03 p.m., my phone rang. Vanessa. I let it ring 3 times before answering. Hey, I said, voice calm. Derek. Her voice was tight, strained. Where are you? At the office. Why? Did you send me flowers? Flowers? No. Why would I send you flowers at home when you're working? I'm not. She stopped. I mean, yes, I'm home, but someone sent flowers. That's nice. Secret admirer? I kept my voice light, curious. They were delivered to... It doesn't matter. The card is weird. Weird how? She hesitated. It says they're from Marcus. Your boss, Marcus? Yes. Huh. That's strange. Maybe it's just a work thing? Didn't you say you've been working on a big project with him? Yes, but she trailed off. It's just weird. Well, maybe he's just being nice. You know how corporate people are, always sending gifts. Silence on the other end. Derek, I need to ask you something. Sure. Do you know where I am right now? I paused. Let the silence stretch. You said you're working from home, right? Yes, I am. Then why are you asking? No reason. Never mind. I'll see you tonight. Okay. Love you. She hesitated. Love you too. The line went dead. I set my phone down and exhaled slowly. Phase 1 complete. At 4:47 p.m., I got another call. This time, it was a number I didn't recognize. I answered. Hello? Is this Derek Matthews? A woman's voice, tight, angry. Yes. Who's this? This is Diane Chen, Marcus's wife. My heart rate spiked, but I kept my voice steady. Oh, hi, Diane. Is everything okay? No, everything is not okay. She was breathing hard. I just got a very interesting phone call from my husband. Oh? He's at the Hilton downtown. Apparently someone sent flowers to his room, flowers addressed to my darling wife and signed with his name. That's strange. Strange. Her voice rose. It's a message. Someone knows he's there. Someone knows he's with your wife. I said nothing. Did you send those flowers? She demanded. Why would I do that? Because your wife is sleeping with my husband. The words hung in the air. I let the silence stretch, then quietly. I know. She exhaled. How long have you known? 3 months. Maybe longer. And you didn't tell me? I didn't know how. I didn't have proof, just patterns. Patterns? I'm a data analyst. I see patterns. Her behavior changed. I started tracking. Credit cards, GPS, hotel records. I've been building a case. Another pause. You sent the flowers. I sent the flowers. Why? Because I wanted them to panic. I wanted them to know that someone knows. I wanted to see what they'd do. Diane laughed. It was a bitter, broken sound. You're smarter than you look. Thanks, I think. What's your plan? I don't know yet. What's yours? I'm going to destroy him, she said flatly. I'm going to take everything, the house, the kids, his reputation. I'm going to make sure everyone at that company knows what he did. That's fair. What about you? I thought about it. I'm still deciding. Well, decide fast, because I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. And when I do, this whole thing is going to blow up. Good, I said. Let it. That night, Vanessa came home at 6:30 p.m. She looked shaken, pale. Her hands were trembling as she set down her purse. Hey, I said from the couch. How was your day? Fine. She didn't meet my eyes. Yours? Productive. Got a lot done. She nodded, went to the kitchen, poured a glass of wine. I watched her from the couch, my laptop open, a spreadsheet on the screen. She came back to the living room, glass in hand. What are you working on? Just some data analysis, nothing exciting. She sat down on the opposite end of the couch. The distance between us felt like miles. Derek, I need to tell you something. My heart rate spiked, but I kept my face neutral. Okay. She took a breath. I've been unhappy. I closed my laptop, turned to face her. Unhappy? In our marriage, for a while now. Why didn't you say something? I don't know. I thought it would pass, but it hasn't. What are you saying? She looked at me, eyes wet. I think we need to separate. There it was. Not an apology, not a confession, just a clean exit. I nodded slowly. Okay. She blinked. Okay. If that's what you want. You're not going to fight me? Would it change anything? She looked away. No, probably not. Then why fight? She wiped her eyes. I'm sorry, Derek. You're a good man. You deserve better. Yeah, I said quietly. I do. She moved out 3 days later, packed her clothes, her laptop, her toiletries, left the furniture, the dishes, the life we'd built. She didn't tell me where she was going. I didn't ask, but I knew. The GPS tracker on her car told me everything. She went straight to Marcus's condo in the short north. 1 week later, Diane Chen filed for divorce. It was brutal, public, messy. She didn't just file papers. She sent an email to the entire executive team at Marcus's company. Subject line, regarding Marcus Chen's conduct. In it, she detailed the affair. Named Vanessa, included dates, hotel records, everything. She CC'd HR, legal, the CEO. By noon, Marcus was suspended pending investigation. By 5 p.m., he'd been terminated for violating the company's ethics policy. Vanessa was called into HR the next day. She wasn't fired, but she was encouraged to resign. She did. 2 weeks after that, Vanessa called me. "Derek, we need to talk." "About what?" "About everything. The separation, the house. I want to make this as easy as possible." "Okay. I'm not asking for much. Just half of the house equity, half of the savings. I think that's fair." "Fair?" I repeated. "Yes. We built this life together. We should split it equally." I was quiet for a moment. "Vanessa, do you know why I sent those flowers?" Silence. "What?" "The flowers at the Hilton. Do you know why I sent them?" Her voice went cold. "That was you." "Yes." "Why?" "Because I wanted you to know that I knew. I wanted you to panic. I wanted to see if you'd come clean." "Derek." "You didn't," I continued. "You lied. You came home and lied to my face. You asked for a separation without ever admitting what you'd done. I was going to tell you. When? After you'd moved in with Marcus? After you'd secured your exit?" She said nothing. "I have everything, Vanessa. GPS logs, credit card statements, hotel records, text messages. I've been documenting for 3 months. You've been spying on me? I've been protecting myself." "From what?" "From this. From you trying to take half of everything when you're the one who blew up our marriage." Her voice shook. "Ohio is a no-fault state. It doesn't matter who. It matters for alimony, and it matters for public opinion. Do you really want me to file a fault-based divorce citing adultery? Do you want all of this to become public record?" Silence. "Here's what's going to happen," I said calmly. "You're going to take your car, your clothes, and your personal items. I keep the house. We split the savings 50-50. No alimony, no support, clean break." "That's not fair." "Fair?" I laughed. "You want to talk about fair? You had an affair with your married boss. You used our joint credit card to pay for hotel rooms. You lied to me for months, and now you want fair? Derek, please, sign the papers, Vanessa, or I'll make sure everyone knows exactly what you did. Your family, your friends, your next employer." "You wouldn't. Try me." She signed. The divorce was finalized 60 days later. I kept the house. We split the savings. No alimony. She moved in with Marcus, who was now unemployed, going through his own brutal divorce, and facing a lawsuit from his ex-wife for dissipation of marital assets. Turns out he'd been using joint funds to pay for those hotel rooms too. Diane took him for everything. The first week after the divorce was finalized, I didn't do much. I went to work. I came home. I sat in the living room that used to be our living room and stared at the walls. The house felt different, quieter. Not in a bad way, just different. I started making small changes. I moved the furniture around, put the couch where the chair used to be, hung a new print on the wall where Vanessa had insisted on keeping that abstract piece I never liked. I bought new sheets, new towels, new coffee mugs. I wasn't erasing her. I was just making the space mine. One Saturday morning, I was cleaning out the hall closet when I found a box of old photos. Wedding photos, vacation photos, pictures of us at friends' houses, smiling like we meant it. I sat on the floor and looked through them. I didn't cry. I didn't feel angry. I just felt done. I put the photos back in the box and set it by the door to donate. That afternoon, I went for a walk around the neighborhood. The air was cool, late October. Leaves were falling, covering the sidewalks in orange and red. I passed the coffee shop where Vanessa and I used to go on Sunday mornings, the one with the good lattes and the outdoor seating. I almost kept walking, but then I stopped. I went inside. The place smelled like espresso and cinnamon. The line was short. I ordered a coffee, black, no sugar. I sat down at a table by the window and opened my laptop. I had work to catch up on, reports to finish, data to analyze. But instead, I found myself opening my email. There was a message from the unknown number that had texted me that day at the Hilton. The subject line was blank. The message said, "I hope the flowers worked out. A friend." I stared at it for a long moment. Then I typed back, "They did. Thank you. Who are you?" I hit send and closed my laptop. I didn't expect a response. But an hour later, when I was back home unpacking groceries, my phone buzzed. The email had a reply. "Someone who's been where you are. Someone who believes good people deserve to know the truth. Stay strong, Derek." I read it twice. Then I closed the email and put my phone face down on the counter. I never found out who sent that first text. But whoever they were, they gave me the push I needed. They gave me the proof I could act on. And they gave me the chance to take control of my own story. 3 months later, I was sitting in my home office, the one that used to be our office, when my boss called. "Derek, you have a minute?" "Sure, what's up?" "I wanted to let you know before the announcement goes out. We're promoting you to senior data analyst, 95,000 salary, it's effective next month." I leaned back in my chair. "Thank you, I appreciate that. You've been doing great work, consistent, thorough. We're lucky to have you." After we hung up, I sat there for a while. The room was quiet, except for the hum of my computer. I thought about the past year, the tracking, the spreadsheets, the flowers, the divorce. I thought about Vanessa and Marcus, about Diane, about the anonymous message that changed everything. And I realized something. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't hurt. I was just here, standing in the house I'd kept, doing the work I was good at, living a life that was mine. That night, I went back to the coffee shop. I ordered the same black coffee and sat at the same table by the window. I was reading a book when someone walked up. "Excuse me, is this seat taken?" I looked up. She was around my age, brown hair pulled back, glasses. She was holding a stack of papers with red pen marks all over them. "No, go ahead," I said. She sat down and spread out her papers. "Thanks, grading season. I need caffeine and a change of scenery." "You're a teacher?" "High school English. You?" "Data analyst." She smiled. "That's a first. Most people I meet work in healthcare or tech. Most people I meet don't grade papers in coffee shops." She laughed. It was a nice sound, easy. "I'm Rachel," she said. "Derek." We talked for an hour. She told me about her students, about the book they were reading, about how she ended up teaching instead of going to law school like her parents wanted. I told her about my work, about the patterns I found in data, about how sometimes numbers tell better stories than people do. I didn't tell her about the divorce. Not yet. When she packed up her papers to leave, she paused. "I'm here most Saturday mornings, if you're around." "I might be," I said. She smiled again and left. I sat there for a while after she was gone. The coffee shop was warm. The light coming through the window was soft and golden. For the first time in a long time, I felt something close to hope. The protective order was granted 3 days later. Marcus Chen was prohibited from contacting me, coming within 500 feet of my home or workplace, or making any threats. Diane got one too. I never saw him again after that parking lot confrontation. According to Diane, he moved to Cincinnati a month later, got a job at a smaller company, started over. I hoped he got help. I hoped he figured things out. But mostly, I just stopped thinking about him. Life moved forward. Rachel and I kept seeing each other, slowly, carefully. She never pushed, never asked for more than I was ready to give. In February, almost a year after the divorce, she invited me to meet her parents. We drove to Dayton on a Sunday afternoon. Her parents lived in a small ranch house with a garden in the back. Her father was a retired engineer. Her mother taught piano. They were kind, welcoming. They asked about my work, about my hobbies. They didn't ask about my past. Over dinner, her father told me about a project he was working on, a rain collection system for their garden. I got excited, started talking about data models for water efficiency. Rachel smiled at me from across the table. Her mother noticed. "You two are good together," she said quietly. Rachel reached under the table and squeezed my hand. On the drive home, she asked, "What are you thinking?" "I'm thinking your parents are really nice. They liked you." "Good." She was quiet for a moment. "Derek, can I ask you something?" "Sure. Are you happy?" I thought about it. "Yeah, I am." "Good," she said, "because I am too." In March, I got a LinkedIn message from Sarah Chen, Diane's sister, the one who had sent that first text. "Hi, Derek, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to reach out because I've been following your work. The transit efficiency visualization you posted last month was brilliant. I work for a nonprofit focused on urban sustainability. We're looking for a data consultant for a project. Would you be interested in talking?" I stared at the message. A job opportunity from the person who had changed my life. I typed back, "I'd be very interested. Let's talk." We had a call the next week. The project was fascinating, analyzing transit data across mid-sized cities to identify gaps in service for low-income communities. It was meaningful work, the kind I'd always wanted to do but never had time for. I took the contract. For the next 3 months, I worked on it in my spare time, nights, weekends. Rachel would sit with me sometimes, reading on the couch while I worked at the kitchen table. It felt peaceful, like we were building something together, even in silence. In June, I presented the findings to Sarah's nonprofit. The data was clear, the recommendations were actionable. They loved it. Sarah sent me an email afterward. "Derek, this is incredible work. Thank you, not just for the analysis, but for being the kind of person who sees patterns and speaks truth. The world needs more of that. Take care. Sarah." I saved the email. In July, Rachel and I took a trip, just a weekend, to Hocking Hills. We hiked, sat by waterfalls, cooked dinner over a camp stove. On the second night, we were sitting by the fire when she asked, "Have you thought about the future?" "What do you mean?" "I mean, us. Where this is going." I looked at her, the firelight reflecting in her eyes. "I have. And I think this is the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. I think you're kind and patient, and you make me want to be a better person." She smiled. "So what does that mean?" "It means I'm not in a hurry, but I'm also not going anywhere." "Good," she said, "because neither am I." We sat in comfortable silence. The fire crackled. The woods were dark and quiet around us. I thought about the text I'd received over a year ago. "Your wife is at the Hilton, room 1847. 8 words that had changed everything. If I hadn't gotten that text, I might still be living in ignorance, still married to someone who didn't love me, still pretending everything was fine. That text had given me the truth, and the truth, as painful as it was, had set me free. 1 year and 2 months after the divorce, I was cleaning out the garage when I found a box. Old wedding photos, cards, mementos from my marriage to Vanessa. I sat on the concrete floor and went through them. Pictures of us smiling, looking happy. Had we been happy? Maybe. For a while. Or maybe I'd just been good at not seeing the patterns. I didn't feel sad looking at the photos. I didn't feel angry. I just felt distant. Like I was looking at a different person, a different life. I put the photos back in the box, closed it. Then I carried it to the curb with the trash, not out of spite, not out of bitterness, just because I didn't need them anymore. The next morning was garbage day. I watched from the kitchen window as the truck came. Watched as they lifted the box and threw it in the back. Gone. Rachel came over that afternoon. We sat on the back porch with iced tea. "You seem lighter," she said. "I feel lighter." "Good." She leaned her head on my shoulder. We sat like that for a long time, watching the afternoon sun filter through the trees. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. For a second, my heart jumped. Then I opened it. Hi, Derek. This is Sarah Chen. Just wanted to check in. Hope you're doing well. The transit project has been approved for Phase 2. Would love to work with you again if you're interested. I smiled. I typed back, I'd love to. Let's set up a call. Then I put my phone away. Rachel looked at me. Good news? Yeah, I said. Really good news. 2 years after the divorce, I was standing in my kitchen on a Saturday morning making coffee. Rachel was still asleep upstairs. She'd stayed over the night before. It had become a regular thing. Her staying over, me staying at her place. We hadn't talked about moving in together yet. But it felt close. The house was quiet, peaceful. I looked around at the space I'd reclaimed, the walls I'd painted, the floors I'd refinished. Every corner held a different memory now. Not memories of betrayal or loss. Just life. Simple, steady, real. My phone buzzed on the counter. An email from Vanessa. I hadn't heard from her in over a year. I opened it. Hi, Derek. I hope this finds you well. I'm getting married next month to someone I met in Cleveland. His name is Tom. He's a teacher, kind, patient, nothing like before. I wanted you to know because you were a huge part of my life, and even though I hurt you, I learned a lot from our marriage. I learned what not to do, what not to take for granted. I'm in therapy. I'm working on myself. I hope you found happiness too. You deserve it. Vanessa. I read it twice. Then I typed a response. Vanessa, congratulations. I'm happy for you. I hope you found what you were looking for. Take care. Derek. Short. Clean. Final. I hit send. Then I deleted the entire email thread. Not out of anger, just because I didn't need it anymore. Rachel came downstairs a few minutes later, hair messy, wearing one of my old t-shirts. Morning, she said. Morning. Coffee? Please. I poured her a cup. We sat at the kitchen table. What are you thinking about? She asked. Just how different things are now. Different good or different bad? Different good. She smiled. Good. We sat in comfortable silence, the kind of silence that doesn't need filling. After breakfast, we went for a walk through the neighborhood, past the coffee shop where we'd met, past the park where we'd had our first real conversation. Everything looked the same, but I saw it differently now. Can I tell you something? Rachel said. Of course. When I first met you, I thought you seemed sad, like you were carrying something heavy. I was. But you don't anymore. You seem lighter. I am lighter. She took my hand. I'm glad. That afternoon, I got a message from a coworker. Jason, a guy I played softball with. Hey man, can I ask you something personal? I typed back, sure. I think my wife might be cheating on me. I don't have proof. Just a feeling. You went through something like this, right? How did you handle it? I stared at the message. Jason, 42, married 10 years, 2 kids. I thought about what to say. Then I typed carefully. First, I'm sorry you're going through this. Second, trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Third, don't confront until you have evidence. Document everything, calmly, carefully. And fourth, remember that however this turns out, you'll survive it. You'll be okay. If you need to talk, I'm here. He responded 5 minutes later. Thanks, man. That helps. Can we grab coffee sometime? Anytime. I put my phone down. I didn't know if Jason's wife was cheating. I didn't know how his story would end, but I knew he'd figure it out. Because that's what people do. They survive, they adapt, they rebuild. That evening, Rachel and I cooked dinner together. Pasta, salad, garlic bread. We ate on the back porch as the sun went down. I've been thinking, she said. About what? About us, about the future. Yeah? I think I'm ready, if you are. Ready for what? To take the next step. Move in together. Build something real. I looked at her, this woman who had been patient with me, who had let me heal at my own pace. I'm ready too. She smiled. Good. We sat in the fading light, making plans, talking about logistics, which place to keep, what furniture to merge. It felt easy, natural, like building with strong materials on solid ground. Later that night, after Rachel went home, I sat alone in my living room. I thought about the text that had started everything. Your wife is at the Hilton, room 1847. 8 words. I thought about the flowers, the card, the panic. I thought about the divorce, the spreadsheets, the evidence. I thought about Marcus Chen standing in that parking lot, broken, blaming. I thought about Vanessa's apology, her new life in Cleveland. And I thought about Rachel, about Jason, about Sarah Chen and the work we were doing together. All of it connected. All of it part of the same story. A story about patterns, about truth, about what happens when you stop pretending and start seeing clearly. I didn't regret sending those flowers. I didn't regret the way I'd handled things. Because sometimes the best response isn't loud. It's quiet, strategic, precise. It's a dozen red roses and a card with the wrong name. A message that says, I know, and I'm not afraid. I stood up, turned off the lights, went upstairs to bed. The house was quiet. And for the first time in years, so was my mind. If you've ever gotten a message that changed everything, if you've ever had to choose between emotion and strategy, if you've ever realized that the truth was hiding in the patterns all along, drop a comment that says, I know, and hit that subscribe button. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment and let me know what city you're watching from and what time it is right now. It's good to know who's part of this community. 2 more stories are coming up next that I think you'll really connect with. Thanks for listening.